One is, what are the reasons for first war of Indian independence? Second one is, what was the immediate cause for this mutiny? Then another one is, so Sepoy and what is the scope and the nature of this movement? Then last one is, so failure and the results of 1857 revolution. So very firstly, so in our country, so in order to extend the British government extend their rule over India. Finally, the British brought, so in policies of, one is subsidiary alliance and another one is doctrine of lapse. These two policies were brought down by British in our country. So then after, as a result of these two policies, numerous states, various states, a number of states in our country, so became the part of British government due to two policies, like one is subsidiary alliance and another one is doctrine of lapse. By these two policies, so many states of our country became the part of British Empire. This made many Indians unhappy. So when the number of countries came under the controlling of British, this made unhappy among the Indians people. Then the peoples also, not only rulers, the peoples also became upset by the policies implemented by the British. Then remember, so many states like, so one is, so many states all came under the controlling of British. So the unhappy of the Indians show to the British during the time of 1857 revolution. So then many of Indian historians call this struggle as first war of Indian independence. In the same way, number of British historians, they call this mutiny as Sepoy mutiny. So in this way, Indian historians call this mutiny, very important point for the examination purpose. So Indian historians call this incident as first war of Indian independence. In the same way, the British historians call this as the Sepoy mutiny. Then now we go to discussing about what are the reasons for the first war of Indian independence. Reasons for this struggle. So you remember, number of reasons is there to fight against the British. First one is political reason. ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ, very first one, so the Indians revolt against the British in the year of 1857. What were the causes for this revolution? First one is political causes. Point number one, first reason is political causes. Remember, due to doctrine of lapse, the British introduced doctrine of lapse policy in our country. So when the British implemented the doctrine of lapse policy, so the implemented by the British, so many Indian kings, many Indian rulers, so lost their kingdom. Remember, according to doctrine of lapse, so number of Indian kings lost their kingdom. So as a result of this policy, so many states in India like one is Satara, Jaipur, Satara, Jaipur, then Udaipur and many other states. Jaipur, Satar and Udaipur and many other states. So became the part of British. According to Dr. Knopfler, so many states of our country came under the controlling of British. One is Satara, second one is Jhansi, and third one is Udaipur. These places became the part of British. Then after, so Dalhousie, British Viceroy. Lord Dalhousie, this person, abolished the kingship of Raja of Tanjavur and Carnatic Nawab. One of the British Viceroy, Dalhousie, abolished the kingdom or kingship of Tanjavur, the ruler of Tanjavur, and also the Carnatic Nawab, the British. Also dethroned one of the Mughal ruler or Mughal king. So became the unemployed of so many soldiers. Remember, removal of Raja of Tanjavur, Nawab of Carnatic, and the Mughal ruler. So immediately, so many soldiers are working under these kings. They became unemployed. So, and this became main reason for the protest against British. So that is the first political cause. Second one is economic reason. Second cause is economic reason. So secondly, what was the reason for 1857 uprising or revolution that is? Economic causes. Remember, so due to the development of industrial revolution in England, dear students, listen. So in the 18th century, in England, industrial revolution was going on. So when the industrial revolution was going on, so many industries, Indian industries destroyed or though they led a very pathetic condition. Then finally England, apart from the beginning, it is an industrialized country, so became a workshop of industries after industrialization. Remember, the British, the artisans of our country, so many artisans of India became unemployed by the industrialization. British introduced industrialization. England saw a industrial revolution in the year of 18th century. After the industrial revolution, England became one of the workshop of industry. Immediately, the artisans of our country became very suffering or led a very pathetic life. Then finally, the artisans of our country, the Indian artisans, became unemployed. Not only artisans, number of weavers became the first victim of industrial revolutions in our country. Remember, so when the industrial revolution was going on in England, so artisans became the first victim, unemployed, and became the first victim, and so many wool traders workers and also cloth making industries became very suffered a lot. Then the Indian handloom workers. The Indian handloom workers became financially weak, financially suffer or pathetic condition. Then finally, the British labor or collected, so heavy industrial heavy or high customs on Indian goods entering to the market of England. See, so many or high taxes collected on Indian goods. They are entering into England market. Then finally, the British also brought the Zamindari system. So many farmers of our country so exploited by the Zamindars. Then after Zamindars, finally, so many farmers of our country exploited by the Zamindars. Then land tax collected. Remember, land tax collection right. Land tax collection right, so awarded to Talukdar. British government given the collection of land tax to the Talukdars were withdrawn. The power of collecting of land tax were withdrawn by the Talukdars by forming Inam commissions. Indian British government formed Inam commissions, and Inam lands also withdrawn. So by all these incidents, so many farmers had undergo went on a lot of economic hardship. By all these incidents, number of farmers faced a lot of economic hardship and felt insulted in front of the British. They are insulted in front of the British by all these incidents. Finally, and the farmers also protested against the all works done by British in our country. So in this way, all farmers revolted against the British. So that is the second important causes for the 1857 revolution. Then third important reason is administrative. Administrative causes. The third important causes is the administrative causes. Remember, the British brought many civil and criminal laws into effect. So in our country, the British brought so many civil laws and so many criminal laws in our country. Brought so many criminal laws, and another one is civil laws are brought down by British in our country, but in the implementation of these laws, there were a lot of, at the time of implementation of civil laws and criminal laws, a lot of, so a number of, there were a partiality. Remember, when the British implemented so many civil laws and criminal laws, so many or a lot of partiality is done by British in India. So the people of India face a lot of partiality by British at the time of implementation of civil laws and criminal laws. Remember, finally, English language became the language of the court is also a fault of British, because we know Indians are not learned the English education. But when the British brought or English became the fourth language, so the English judges, the person who given judgment in the court, the English judges gave judgment in favor of the British or in favor of the English lawyers. So finally, people did not like a new law. So instead of that, all these incidents, so all the people of our country revolted against British. That is very important reason. Fourth one is military reasons, military causes. Military causes. Remember the situated in Indian soldiers. Remember, in Indian soldiers, the situation is very worst condition. Remember, the situation of Indian soldiers in the British Army was very pathetic. Very pathetic condition is led by our soldiers. So remember, they did not, what was the discrimination in between Indian soldiers and the British soldiers? Very firstly, remember, so the status, remember, the Indian soldiers did not have the status, then salary and promotions. These are all given to British soldiers, but these facilities are not given to Indian soldiers. There is a lot of difference in the matter of status and also in the salary and also the promotion. So in this way, lot of variation, lot of differences in between the Indian soldiers and also British soldiers. Then the pressure, another important discrimination between Indian soldiers and the British soldiers is, remember, the pressure put on Indian soldiers for overseas work. Triggered, given a lot of stress on Indian soldiers, or triggered resentment among the soldiers. So this is also one of the important reason for the 1857. Students, you know that first cause is political reason, second cause is economic reason, third cause is administrative reason, fourth one is military reason. So these are all the important four reasons for the 1857 revolution. Then how the mutiny beginning, so or the beginning of the 1857 mutiny, then after in which places it spread. Remember, Indian soldiers who were present in the British Army in a large number, or Indian soldiers who were present in the large numbers in the British Army. Finally, they believed it. They believed that they are all soldiers can drive away the British if all the soldiers became unite or united. If all the soldiers who are in British Army, so they are brought together, it is very easy to drive British from our country. So this thought in the minds of Indian soldiers. So under this situation, the British government started providing Royal Enfield. Royal Enfield. Royal Enfield. The British government, Royal Enfield gun. So a new type of gun to the soldiers. So when all these incidents going on, British government introduced a Royal Enfield gun, a new type of gun, a new type of very improved gun was given to soldiers. But when British introduced this Royal Enfield gun, a rumor, there is no particular evidence, a rumor spread that the bullets of these guns, bullets of Royal Enfield gun is smeared by the fats of pig and cow. This rumor spread among the soldiers. The fats of cow and pig smeared to the bullets of Royal Enfield gun. So immediately the cow is heard. The cow was sacred for Hindus. Cow was sacred animal for Hindus and pig was prohibited for Muslims. Remember. So cow was sacred animal and pig is prohibited animal for Muslims. This became immediate cause for the mutiny. So here there is a chance. What was the immediate cause for the 1857 revolution or mutiny? So you write that British provided a Royal Enfield gun. The bullets of these guns were smeared with the fats of pig and cow. Cow was a sacred animal for Indians and pig was prohibited animal for Muslims. So this became the immediate cause for the 1857 mutiny. Then this rumor, remember what is the rumor of, what was the rumor? Smearing of fat to bullets of Royal Enfield gun. This rumor caused a lot of unrest. So in Barakpur, military soldiers. Remember Barakpur. Barakpur, BA, optional totally. So ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಉಂಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಬ್ಯಾರಕ್ಪುರದಲ್ಲಿ. So a lot of unrest was going on in at Barakpur military soldiers. When the soldiers were directed to load the bullet to the gun by chain, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಗಿ ಕಟ್ಟಂತದ್ದು ಬಾಯಿಗೆ ಕಚ್ಚಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ಆಫ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಬುಲೆಟ್. ಆ ಬುಲೆಟ್ಟಿನ ಒಂದು ಭಾಗವನ್ನು ಬಾಯಿಗೆ ಕಚ್ಚಿ ಚೀವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಲೋಡ್ ಬಿಡಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ವಾಸ್ happened in at Barakpur. All the soldiers do not do that. was made with the fats of pig and cow. Cow is a sacred animal for Hindus. How they cheat? Pig is prohibited animal for Muslims. How they cheat? In this way, the soldiers refused to do it. One of the soldiers of Barakpur revolted against the British officer. One of the soldiers named Mangal Pandey. Mangal Pandey. One of the soldiers, Mangal Pandey, shoot and died deadly a British officer. When one of the British officer argues to the soldiers of Barakpur, Mangal Pandey refused to do that and also shoot a British officer and died. This Mangal Pandey was arrested after sometimes after arrested, and he considered as one of the tortured and hanged up to death. So that is the beginning of mutiny. So after the Barakpur, this mutiny spread to all over some parts of our country also, inspired by this incident. Remember, so 1857 revolution is also spread to another one is Meerut revolution. So then the 1857 revolution also spread to Meerut. So Meerut was a major British military base. Meerut was a major British military base. The Indian soldiers, it is one of the important military base of British. So many Indian soldiers are stationed here. The soldiers who are in Meerut refused to use the bullet of new Royal Enfield gun. The soldiers who are stationed in Meerut, they are refused to use this new type of bullets used for Royal Enfield gun. Then many soldiers, when the soldiers refused, all the soldiers, so many soldiers were arrested. When soldiers were arrested, this led to mutiny in Meerut. When soldiers were arrested by the British government, automatically the mutiny spread in Meerut. Then the soldiers rushed into prison of Meerut and released the imprisoned soldiers. The soldiers rushed at Meerut prison and released the imprisoned soldiers. This became the seed for the Meerut mutiny, became the seed for the freedom movement of our country. The Meerut mutiny became seed for the 1857 uprising. Then one of the group of soldiers, so who reached Delhi from Meerut, one group of soldiers who reached Delhi from Meerut, and they also entered into Red Fort in Delhi and declares that Mughal ruler British Army entry to Delhi from Meerut and declares it. Mughal ruler Bahadur Shah was the emperor of our Mughal kingdom. Bahadur Shah II became the emperor due to various reasons. The protesting soldiers reached Delhi. Due to various reasons, all the protesting soldiers reached Delhi. Then finally, the protest became so intensified, this spreads like a wildfire. Remember, the mutiny spreads like a wildfire. ಕಾಡ್ಗಿಚ್ಚಿನಂತೆ ಅರಣ್ಯ ಪ್ರದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಂಟಾಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕಾಡ್ಗಿಚ್ಚಿನಂತೆ ವೈಲ್ಡ್ ಫೈರ್ನಂತೆ ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ಆಟ್ ಆರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಡೆಲ್ಲಿ ಟು ಕಾನ್ಪುರ ಅಂಡ್ ಝಾನ್ಸಿ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ರೆವಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಡ್ ಟು ಕಾನ್ಪುರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಝಾನ್ಸಿ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಡೆಲ್ಲಿ. So remember Nana Sahib of Kanpura. Nana Sahib of Kanpur so rose in a revolt. A revolt was held in Kanpura under the leadership of Nana Sahib. Remember Nana Sahib, one of the another person, Tatya Topi, one of the assistant of Nana Sahib, so who lived in at Jhansi and also revolted with the help of Lakshmi Bai. So provided or given leadership to the revolt in at Kanpur. Then Tatya Topi came to the support of Rani Lakshmi Bai. Rani Lakshmi Bai, so after the fallen of Kanpura, so to the British, after when Kanpur was captured by British, Tatya Topi, who came to give support to Lakshmi Bai. So later the protest spread to Lucknow. Remember, very firstly in Barakpur, then Meerut, then Delhi, then Jhansi, then Kanpur, then Jhansi. Remember, later the protest spread to Lucknow. But finally, Lucknow also fell in the hands of British. Revolt also started in Lucknow. But unfortunately, Lucknow also fell in the hands of British. Now, the freedom struggle spread to the south of river Yamuna. Finally, the freedom struggle reaches to the south of Yamuna, and this also influenced the soldiers of Rani Lakshmi Bai. It's also influenced on the soldiers of Rani Lakshmi Bai, who was handled by the doctrine of lapse. Rani Lakshmi Bai became angry on British because British brought doctrine of lapse policy. Remember, this Rani Lakshmi Bai captured Gwalior from British. Rani Lakshmi Bai captured Gwalior from British. This was one of the important incidents. Then they see Rani Lakshmi Bai died heroically, a heroic death with the British in another battle. Finally, even today, Rani Lakshmi Bai has a special in the annals records of Indian freedom struggle. So these are all the important places who makes revolt against the British during the time of 1857 revolution. So then after, even after all these incidents, the 1857 revolution failed. Now we try to discussing about what were the causes for the failure of 1857 revolution. Remember, the first war of Indian independence failed in our country. Why? Because due to various reasons. ಅನೇಕ ಕಾರಣಗಳು. ಯಾಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ 1857 ರೆವಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಫೇಲ್ಯೂರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ವಿಫಲವಾಗುತ್ತೆ? So many reasons. Due to various reasons, 1857 revolutions became failure. Okay, so you write point by point, one by one. First point is it did not, means 1857 revolution did not cover every part of India. That is the first part. 1857 revolution did not cover the whole part of our country. So that is the first failure. Secondly, it was mainly concentrated. The 1857 revolution mainly concentrated on the issues of rights of kings and queens. Secondly, 1857 revolution concentrated on the rights of kings and queens. They did not think about nation. That is the second important reason. Another one is, so it was not a planned mutiny. Remember, it was a planned mutiny. It was not a planned mutiny. Third point. 1857 revolution was not a planned mutiny. Fourth important reason for the failure is, remember, there were many unaccepted. There were many unaccepted results. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. In Indian soldiers or in Indians, number of unexpected results are seen. Then another one is the unity among British soldiers and disunity among the Indian soldiers. Remember, another important failure is a unity among British soldiers, but in the same way, disunity among the Indian soldiers is one of the reasons for the failure. So then after another one ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಮತ್ತೊಂದನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೋಡೋದಾಗಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ. So the mutiny lacked direction and leadership. ನೋಡಿ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ನೋಡಿದಾಗ 1857 ರೆವಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಕೊರತೆ ಇತ್ತಪ್ಪ? The revolt ಇದೇನಾಗಿತ್ತು, or the mutiny lacked ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಲೀಡರ್ಶಿಪ್. ಸೊ ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇದೆ. Then there is no particular leadership. So that is also one of the important reasons for the failure of 1857 revolution. Then the soldiers, another important point is the soldiers also lacked discipline and organizing the skills. So in our soldiers there is no skills. We only do old and traditional way of fighting against the British. There is no skill. Indian soldiers also lacked discipline and also lack of skills. Then Indian soldiers lacked military strategies. So Indian soldiers are lacked by the military strategies and plan and also capabilities among the Indian soldiers. Then finally, Indian kings, last one very important one is Indian kings extended their loyalty. Indian kings extended their loyalty to the British. They did not support to freedom movement of our country. So many kings shows their loyalty to the British instead of giving support to Indian freedom fighters. Then finally, the plundering of the Indian soldiers and also crimes committed by the Sipahis made loss of faith. The Indian soldiers are plundering, and so many crimes committed by the Sipahis lost the faith of common people. So these are all the important causes for the failure of 1857 revolution. Then after the failure of revolution, we also see number of results by 1857 revolution. What were the important results of 1857 revolution? Point number 1, results. Remember, the government entered by the company an agreement, point number 1. The agreement entered by the company with the local kings were accepted. First results of 1857 revolution. So what agreements is made with company, all agreements were accepted by the government. Point number 1, the agreement entered by the company with local kings were accepted. Second result is non-pressure of regional expansion. Non-perseverance means ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪ್ರಾದೇಶಿಕ ರಾಜ್ಯಗಳೊಂದಿಗೆ ಹಸ್ತಕ್ಷೇಪವನ್ನು ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ನವರು ಭಾರತೀಯರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಪ್ಪಂದವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನಾನ್ ಪರ್ಸ್ಯೂರೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ರೀಜನಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನ್ಷನ್. Then third one is provision or providing a stable government for India. British agrees that we given a stable government to India. That is a very important result. Fourth one is equal or equality before law. There is no question of partiality. All Indians are equal in front of the law. Then last result is non-interference of the government in the religious issues. British government not enter in the religious issues of Indian or Indians and practicing the religious tolerance. ಯಾವುದೇ ಧರ್ಮವನ್ನು ಪಾಲನೆ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. We can't interrupt in the Indian society. So these are all the important results of 1857 revolution. So one is understood by the British. If we want getting confidence of Indians, it is impossible to rule India. So this was so understood to British by the 1857 revolution. Students, that's all. So these are all the important points that we discuss in this chapter. Thank you.